What's going on today, guys? I have been carrying this Protech Rockeye re-release every single day for about the past month. I was fortunate enough to get it a month early, and they should be coming out soon. As soon as this video is released, they should be out the day of or a few days before or after. It'll be really close. So go ahead. If you're watching this video late, you may have already missed the release. These will not last long. The other ones didn't. The ones that were 154 cm did not last very long. People have been eagerly awaiting the re-release with this S35VN Protech side opening automatic knife. It is a very good knife. I don't feel like this knife is for me though, and let me explain. There's a few things, in my opinion, that I just have a personal issue with, and it's mostly to do with the design of the knife. Nothing to do with fit and finish, nothing to do with the materials, nothing to do with the heat treat of the blade, anything like that. I haven't touched up this edge. I've been carrying it again for about a month straight. Been doing very well. It does need to get touched up now. It's not dull, but I don't like to carry them when I can do that. You know what I mean? So we will be touching this up. Stay tuned. Feels great in your hand. I'm trying to give you guys all the info before I give my real opinions. It comes with all the goody standard stuff from Protech. Get a weight on it real quick for you guys who like that sort of things. I always felt like I could find that stuff out on my own. But the big YouTube channels do this. So I guess we're going to be big boys and do it. 4.69 ounces. Again, let's put that in comparison with something that I'm going to be directly comping this knife up against is the Protech Mordax 3.5. So almost an ounce lighter. I know that this is the milled version. This is not a review on this. But because I have both of these in my collection, because they're both of similar sizes, I have to run them up against each other, and that's where my gripes are going to mostly come in. I have really been spoiled with the Mordax design. Let's go ahead and show you overall length. Overall, you're looking right there. Maybe a little less, 8.5 or so, something like that. Right? And then blade length. They say 3.4 inches. I don't know if they're not counting sharpened portions or not. It's more like 3.25 to me, not 3.4. You know, maybe they're counting damn near back to here where there's no edge. I don't know. Where's the official? If you was pulled over by a police officer, do they measure all the way to that handle and out to the tip? Or do they measure cutting portion? I don't quite know. But anyways, so we're under 3.5 inches for the blade, cutting edge. And, you know, it's a good size. It's a really good size for EDC. It's a great feel in the hand. It fills up the whole palm of your hand. So you're asking yourself, Randy, where are your gripes at? Well, for me personally, I don't care for larger jimping. I prefer no jimping. If I'm going to get jimping, I'd rather have it done nice and fine. Like this. Again, I understand that this is personal preference. Not a knock on Protech, not even a knock on Les George. This is how he designed it. The worst offender is the Strider SNG with this big chunky. And to me, maybe I'm not the targeted market. I'm just a dad with 4 kids, EDCing these knives, breaking down cardboard, doing everyday knife stuff. You know, I'm not out in the field, survival, training, and doing all that with my knife. I don't have gloves on. I'm not a firefighter. You know, I'm not using my knives with my gloves a whole lot. So I just don't need all this. It's not a big hot spot. I just prefer it to not be there. I'd rather have it nice and finely jimped. Let's go ahead and get a size comparison while I have these out. And I'm going to continue on with some of my weird OCD style gripes. Here's the Spyderco Bowie. Right. About the same cutting edge. Longer handle. There's a reason this is in one of my Hall of Fames. There's a reason this design right here, one of my Hall of Fames. Blade comes all the way to the very edge of the handle. You can't pack more blade into that. You know what I mean? And I have really been spoiled. This is currently one of my favorite EDC knives. Another thing. If you're going to have all this dead space in here, this is stuff you can't do anything with. You can argue this is a guard. There's no argument. It is a guard. Is it wasted space? Visually, no. I think it's a badass look. But how do you can't really choke up on the knife. There's not a big enough platform there or anything to get up on. And then the way they cut this sharpening notch in there, which is good. I like that sharpening notch. We don't need this edge to come all the way back where the steel is thick and it gets real big and ugly back there. If you're going to do it, go ahead, do that. This guard, I just feel like if I could personally, if I was going to modify this knife, I'm not. But I could definitely cut a finger choil in here and barely lose any cutting edge, if any at all. I could do that and still keep this guard coming all the way down. I would argue, though, that we're in this hobby for variety. You know? You could argue, too, the Sebenza has wasted space, too. One of the best designs, in my opinion. This, too. A little wasted space right there. You know? That's, to me, why this is such a rock star right here. This Mordax. I also want to bring your attention, if we're going to start talking about the blade tucking into the handle. Perfect blade center. Just I'm amazed. Protech does such a great job. This blade ends right here. All of this aluminum on the back half here is unnecessary. Other than maybe design, aesthetic, and also maybe your grip. It does fill out the palm all the way down. This is very secure in my hand. Medium to large size hands. I'd say more large. I wear a large glove. I don't even know if I could get the medium on, but I'm not a huge guy, you know, and it fits very nice in my hands. I don't know if this, to me, this is perfect, but it doesn't fill up the back of my palm the same way. It's just different. I still have a full grip on this. It's just different. And it's just in the design. Here's where we might get a little nerdy. It's just the way it has to be on this Rockeye design. If you want to pair up this belly and this blade shape, but you want the back of the handle, this portion right here, if you want it to face this way, right? And not face this way, like this one. Again, the design on this, the way that this flows organically and matches up with the belly organically. If you was to fold this knife, take off this front scale, the belly of this knife follows the back of this handle. So there's not much wasted space in handle. You're not carrying around handle all day without a purpose. This handle has a purpose. The blade tip comes almost to the very, very back. You almost couldn't get it anymore and be safe. Incredible. But I'm gushing about this knife, but here's the thing about this knife. If you wanted to do the same with this, you still wanted this handle here, you can't with the way this blade shape is. They did as good of a job as you can. They brought that tip to the back right here. So I understand why it is the way it is, but it still doesn't help that I could take this to a grinder and I could grind off all of this right here, cut off where my thumb is, and the blade could still be the same. It would have a different look profile. It's not a Rockeye anymore, you know? So it's something else. It looks more and more similar to this. Next point is that's not variety, right? So I like this. Is it perfect? It's not for me. Is this knife perfect for me? No. But to me, this is a little more perfect design and in the way I think and the way I like than the Rockeye. I like the Rockeye a lot. It makes it handle heavy. This is very handle heavy. It doesn't want to fall out of your hands. That's ridiculous. But it's not as balanced in your hand as I would like. If that chunk of aluminum was off the back of this, it would be a little more balanced in your hand. Again, it's not a Rockeye anymore if you do that. So I understand. This is the best of both worlds. You get a profile of Les George's Rockeye in a Protech made side opening, perfect side opening mechanism with great fit and finish at a factory price. And you're getting this S35VN now. Wonderful re-release. I recommend it. I like it. The problem is, and it's not even a problem, would I carry this over this if I own this? Yeah, I would, and I have been. After the cameras go off, the review's done, will I? I don't know. Time will tell. I'll do an update video on it. But to me, this is perfection. This is awesome in a different way and not quite as much perfection. It's still a wonderful tool. Great blade shape. Great heat treat. Again, I've been carrying it a month and no chips. You know, it needs a resharpening. They did a pretty good job with the factory edge. You can see the bevel's pretty even all the way around. Maybe a little shallow right here. If this is 15, this is 15 all the way around. This might be 18 right here to here. That's factory. Most factories are going to do that. I've seen Sebenzas that have a little bit of asymmetrical edges. That's your first sharpening. If you know what you're doing, you're going to fix that. You know what I mean? So, and I just posted a video on this, sharpening this on some stone. So go ahead and take a look at that video if you want more. I'm not done with this knife. We're going to do a spelunking video where we take it down, where we look at all the guts, where we dive real deep into this knife and get a look at all the inner workings. And I'm going to give you some more of my opinions inside there. I think that's going to be a very positive review. Here, look at this. When you depress this button, I can't even push it down this much without it springing back. That means this blade, from the moment it breaks that plunge lock, the button lock, it's under spring tension. And when you open it, it just fires open with authority. For me, the spring's not too great where I can't push the button. It may take a little bit of practice. Push the button, push it down. Now you're at halfway, and then pull it in with your thumb. I never close this two-handed. Somebody else who hasn't had practice, you know, maybe. It's just so fun. This is an awesome fidget knife. An awesome tool too. I don't mean to like talk bad about it. It's just the design. I feel the design is a little outdated versus the Mordax. If you want to look, they did finish this up with a stop pin in the back there. You're not slamming into aluminum. Of course, Protech would not slam you into aluminum. So stop pin on the Mordax. Look where it's around here, wraps around the stop pin. So the impact from this blade slamming onto the lock bar wraps all the way around. You're not hitting a square blade. If this was just square right here, square blade, into a round and can cause a little bit of dimpling right here, a little bit of blade wiggle. Same thing with the Rockeye here. They know what they're doing. Wraps around that stop pin. Incredible fit and finish. We're going to take this apart. I was told by my Protech hookup, I paid for this knife, but I did get a little early, that this is a pressed pivot. So, also I like how they do this too. I mean, there's no reason to show hardware on both sides, but check this out. Look how clean of a look this is. No screw heads on this side, and a couple screw heads that are perfectly flush on the back side. While we're back here though, I do have to mention this. Huge clip for some reason. Not a big fan. Not a big fan at all. I've already ordered a different clip. I think this clip kind of sucks, and here's the reason. You don't have much room here to get it in over a pocket, but you have all kinds of room once it's in your pocket. Don't understand that. Give us the same space here as we have up here. Or give us a little less space here. Like, why? And also, it's huge. It's more than half of the handle. This pocket clip is huge. It's huge. Again, not gushing. Kind of am though. The Fear and Forge. Just check that lowrider clip out. I understand. All these knives can't look the same. Some people hate lowrider clips. You don't want to hide your whole knife. You know, it might make it hard to pull out of your pocket. Maybe this is more for people in public service, people who need to be able to grab their knife fast. If this much is sticking out of your pocket, you got a huge sturdy clip, you're not breaking this clip no time soon. You know, you got enough to grab out of here even if you're not wearing a lanyard. If you don't have a lanyard tied on there. Again though, Fear and Forge, they still got a way to get you a lanyard in there. 540 cord in there might be a little tough, but I believe you could do it. But definitely, you know, just different design philosophies. It's a good knife. It's a great knife. Is it a perfect knife for me? No. Do I enjoy carrying it? Absolutely. Is there a few things that I wish was changed? Yeah, maybe if they're going to have all this on the back half of the handle, maybe do some lightning pockets on the inside. Maybe mill out the inside of this aluminum. Being aluminum, I don't know how much weight that would save. It's not like this knife is overly heavy or anything. It's just handle heavy. It's very butt heavy. When you put all that weight on the ass end of the knife, you know. So there it is. The Protech Rockeye. We're going to take this thing apart and do the spelunking real soon. Stay tuned, guys. I hope you guys subscribed. Leave me a thumbs up. All that stuff. Comments help the algorithm. Even if you're a hater and you say, hey, man, I love my Rockeye. Your video sucks. And you put that in the comments. I'm sorry you feel that way, but that does help me as far as the algorithm and getting back into this YouTube thing. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. Overall, I really do recommend this knife. They will not last long. They will be collectible. I'm just saying. Look at the eBay prices on this guy, the Protech Mordax. Just go ahead and take a look at that and see what they were brand new and look at what they are now. I feel like you can't lose on it. So it's a good knife. Design-wise, it's not quite as efficient as this. But again, if everything was completely efficient, they're all going to start looking the same. So I'm not quite sure that we want that either.